We're actually driving over top the natural bridge itself. We may get a chance to check that out a little bit later. I actually have the privilege of staying at the Natural Bridge Hotel this evening. I actually really love this hotel. It's actually pretty reasonably priced. It's clean, it's nice, and the staff is super friendly. And actually, when I stayed here, first time I stayed here, Anna was very little. She was like 2, and she left her Build-A-Bear in the room on accident. We called the hotel. They said, yeah, we have it. And they just told us to give us the address, and they ship it to us. They didn't ask for any money. They put it in a box, paid the postage, and sent it to us. It was really, really nice. And this really does hold a special place in my heart, because that trip, that was like the family's first road trip ever. Me and my wife had just finished college, just started our jobs as social workers, and it was the first time we had enough vacation time to take off and enough money, not very much, but a little bit of money squirreled away so that we could take a couple-day road trip over the weekend. And we went here to Natural Bridge. We stayed here at the historic hotel, and very, very, very first true road trip. But we don't have time to rest on our laurels. Let's go see that natural bridge. Now, unfortunately, when the state stepped in a few years ago and purchased Natural Bridge and turned it into a state park, they decided a few of the more wacky elements had to go. So they removed some of Mark Klein's fiberglass attractions, and they also got rid of the Wax Museum that formerly occupied this building right here. I don't know what this is used for now. Looks like it may be a library of some sort. And for my fellow Wax Museum nerds, I believe the figures themselves went to the Bible Walk Museum in Mansfield, Ohio, and the molds used to make the plastic figures were actually donated to Mark Klein. Now, in nearby Lexington, they actually had a community art project to paint all these horses. It says, "In wilderness lies the hope of the world." I do like this horse is wearing shoes. Alright, and those doors will take you out to see the Natural Bridge, but there is a Natural Bridge mural over the restrooms. This area here, believe it or not, used to be a vintage toy museum. It looks like it's been turned into some sort of interactive teaching area. Look at me! I'm George Washington's pet fox. Here at the touch table, we can fulfill our desire that every child has to touch a bunch of old bones. Old bones. Very beautiful walk down here to the bridge. See the little waterfall right there. And here it is. A thing of true majesty. The Natural Bridge of Virginia. The highway actually runs right on top of that. We drove through right there on our way into town. Now, here at Natural Bridge, there was a famous and notorious hooligan who actually tagged this beautiful monument, who inscribed his initials into the rock so they could not be removed. And this notorious hooligan is none other than our first president, George Washington. And there it is. George Washington's initials, GW. Back here they have a little Native American village. It's actually closed off right now. Some old farming areas. And then they have this, a pulpit, stone pulpit to give sermons out in the woods. There's this little bench here where you can stare into the creek, relax and contemplate life. And then over here is something pretty interesting. There's a quote by J.R.R. Tolkien engraved in the rock here. Check out this. This bridge leads right into a cave. Oh, this is This is super, super spooky. I don't think I'm gonna go very far into this cave. It's actually a saltpeter cave, and saltpeter is used both to make gunpowder and to make prison inmates a little less eager. And here we have the end of the trail. This natural bridge trail ends at the beautiful Lace waterfall. But that is not all, my friends. There is one final magnificent attraction here at Natural Bridge, and that is the drama of creation. This has been a light show that has been going on since 1927. Calvin Coolidge, our former president, flipped the electric switch to start the first showing. Now, this show comprised primarily of shining lights on the Natural Bridge structure and reciting Bible verses out of a loudspeaker. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. But you may wonder, there may be some of you wondering, well, wait a minute, this is a state park. That's pretty clearly religious. How do they get away with that? Well, I think when it was sold to the state, obviously there was a lot of thought put into that. I mean, do you stop organizing an event that's been going on since 1927 that people have seen for generations, or do you keep doing it and kind of cross that blurry line between church and state? Well, kind of how they got around this is that the park closes at 8 or 9, depending on the time of the year, and then a half an hour later, it is privately reopened to the public to show drama of creation, and the state park has nothing to do with it. So it's a good little loophole, and we still get our amazing drama of creation. Behold.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, and God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
So that was the drama of creation. I don't know how well it came off in the video. The lighting, it's not very bright, but they do shine the lights on the Natural Bridge formation. And it turns out I was the only one that showed up tonight, but they were still kind enough to still play the show. I was given a personal show on the side of a mountain just for me, so that makes me feel very, very special. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. This one's in the bag.